Hi, everybody. Hope everyone's doing all right and holding it together well, being at home. So last week, you guys did the social media simulator, and you were able to tell me 3 things that you should never post on your social media account. So for today's lesson, I'm just going to dig a little bit deeper in some of those things, give you a couple more examples, so that hopefully you will be going back to your accounts at the end of today and making some changes to the stuff that you're putting up there. Okay, so it's important for me to let you know that everything I'm talking to you about right now is really for people under the age of 18. So you might hear me say things and you go, oh, but my parents or my older siblings. The rules are a little bit different when you're under the age of 18, and they're definitely a little bit different when you're under the age of 13. And we'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. So when I think of different bits of information that kids might change or post on their social media sites, either in their bios or in their posts, a lot of things that I see we can classify as always okay, sometimes okay, or never okay. So talking about hiding your location in a post. Always okay to hide your location in social media posts. Okay, this isn't talking about texting back and forth with your parents. This is posting on social media, okay? Not just giving away the location in the text of the post, but thinking about the type of stuff that's in the background of the post that you might be giving away in a picture that you've taken or in something else that's been said. Always okay to hide your location. There's no reason why anybody needs to know where you are all the time unless it's your parents. And your parents aren't going to check your social media to find that info out if they need to know. All right, so the next little scenario is pretending to be somebody else. Okay, pretending to be somebody else in social media is never okay. In fact, if you take it a little too far, it could be considered identity theft and it could be a crime. Okay, if you could change things about your profile to be different from your true self, but it's never okay to actually take on somebody else's personality. The last 3 things that I would talk about: changing your name, using a different profile picture, lying about your age to join a site. I put all those in the sometime. So changing your name, obviously you can't change your name to be somebody else, but you can change your name to be, for example, your first name and your last initial, or your first name and your middle name. Nowhere on your social media site should you have both your first and last name side by side. You just shouldn't do it. It shouldn't be in your bio. It shouldn't be your username. It shouldn't be shown anywhere in a picture that gets posted on your social media. At this point, at the age that you're at, it's not okay to have your first and last name out there. So if you need to change things around a little bit to kind of protect your identity, that's great. Same thing with using a different profile picture. If you have a private account and in your bio, your profile picture is a picture of your face, there's really no point in giving, and having the private profile if that's what you're putting up there. Last thing, lying about your age to join a site. That's something that it has to, depending on what your parents' rules are. If your parents say it's okay for you to have Snapchat or TikTok or Instagram and you're not 13, that's one thing, okay? As long as they're aware of it. But if they specifically said you can't have those things until you turn 13 and you did it anyways, then that's a case where you are breaking trust, all right? And that's definitely not okay. It's also not okay to pretend that you're a different age. It's not okay to pretend that you're 16 on social media. Okay, that's going to end up getting you into some trouble down the road. Right? Obviously, you're not going to advertise that you're in 6th grade when you're on social media, but at the same time, it's not okay to pretend like you're older than you are. All right. So here's kind of the summary here. It's always good to protect yourself from strangers and keep your identity clean. Don't give away too much information. This is Susan B. Anthony. She came to say hi. And it's definitely bad to change things about your identity that are going to impersonate others and hurt or deceive others. And then also finally to go against your parents' wishes. Okay, part 2, I got cut off. Things you should definitely hide. Full name, first and last, should never appear side by side in a social media profile. Your address, where you live. Pretty sure your parents don't want you giving away your address to lots of people. The name of your school, obviously It's not necessarily true right now, but your school is where you spend most of your time during the school year typically. All right, so giving away the name of your school really does give away your location. Same with sports teams and jersey numbers. I know that's something that everybody's proud of and wants to share. But if you're posting about your jersey number and then you wear that jersey out in public, people are going to be able to put two and two together. All right, your bus info. Okay, it's not hard once you get somebody's bus number to figure out where they live or where they get on or off the bus. And that's where it starts to get kind of uncomfortable and scary. All right, and then finally your birthday and age. Okay, again, most of you guys are not of age to have a lot of these social media sites, so advertising that information is probably not a good idea. Also, a lot of times, a lot of strange people, a lot of the creepers, as soon as they hear that you're young, they think that you're also not smart, and they're going to jump on and try to take advantage of you. Okay, so when we think about that, I realize this is a really old graphic. It's from 2014. But you notice that everything on this graphic is 13 and up. There is no 12. There is no 11 on this graphic. And I know a lot of you guys have this stuff. I know a lot of you have Snapchat. I know a lot of you have Instagram. All right. Hopefully your parents are aware of that and know that and check it frequently. All right. There is a reason why 13 is kind of that big cutoff age. And it's not because people want to make your lives miserable. It's not because, they are they don't trust you. Okay. It has to do with science. All right. So right now you have different parts of your brain that are responsible for different things. This part right up here up front, this is called your frontal lobe. Okay. Your frontal lobe is not done cooking and it won't be done. It'll start doing some good growing around 13, but it's not going to be done until you're about 18 or 20. Okay. Guys, you could be the smartest, most mature 12-year-old in the world, but your frontal lobe is still not there. Okay, and here's the thing that the frontal lobe is responsible for. It's really tiny, so I'll read some of them off, but problem solving, impulse control, that's like all social media is. All right, reasoning and judgment, emotional behavior. Okay, I'm sure there's been a lot of times already this year where maybe you said something or done something, and as soon as you finished, you went, why did I do that? Why did I say that? That was terrible. Why did I think that was okay? I could tell you why. It's your frontal lobe. Okay. It's not you. Your brain is just not done cooking. And so that's why 13 and then again 18 are those big markers for that. It has to do with your growth and development. It has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with your maturity. So I always try to explain that to kids because I don't think, I think a lot of times they just think it's unfair. Well, it's because your brain's not done growing yet. And there's a lot of responsibility that comes with social media and a lot of important decisions that have to be made all the time when you're out there. And so we are trying to do our best at Cosgrove to prepare you for whatever comes forward with that. All right. So you're going to move on to the next activity, and I'll talk to you guys later. I hope everything's going well. Bye.